Hello, welcome to A Cook Back in Time. Today I'm at one of the most historic towns in England, Hastings, 1066 and all that, but today we're not looking at that, we're celebrating Mayday through the ages. Our expert guest chef and restaurateur Veronica Shaw will be cooking against the clock to prepare a mouth-watering spread of historical cuisine to feed the Jack of the Green of the Mad Jack Morris dancers, the organisers of today's celebrations. The Hastings Jack in the Green festival is steeped in pagan overtones. Very little's known about the custom before the 19th century, when it was adopted by the Guild of Chimney Sweeps as an excuse to celebrate their annual spring holiday. It was the sweeps who began the rite of parading a decorated jack through the streets to raise money. But the custom petered out in the Victorian era and was all but forgotten until it was resurrected in 1979 by the Mad Jack Morris dancers. Keith, you look absolutely smashing. Give me an idea of the order of the day, the events.
We're psyching ourselves up at the moment so we can get ready for Jack in the Green to be released with lots and lots of energy and vigour. He'll come out onto the streets and he's going to dance around the streets of Hastings all day. But at the end of the day, we've got to kill him to release the spirit of summer, and then we're going to be ravenously hungry, you know.
I'd better let you go because you've got a strict timetable.
Great time ahead. You're going to enjoy yourself.
See you later.
Yeah, bye.
The Jack is released from the Fisherman's Museum right on the seafront at exactly 10 o'clock. The procession winds its way through the ancient streets of Hastings up to the castle, where the Morris dancing begins in earnest, with displays of the different styles of dancing by Morris groups from all over the country. The whole day reaches a climax at 3:15, so that gives our guest chef Veronica Shaw plenty of time to prepare an intriguing mix of historical fare. Veronica, I've got a load of hungry Morris men who are going to be making their way back up here. What are we going to feed them?
Well, there's lots of things we can do, because we should look back at the whole rite of spring and to the very early days. And if we go back to Roman times and look at some food from then on in, and we'll choose different things from different centuries and match up a wonderful feast for them.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
So what do we start with?
Well, we're going to start with some Roman meatballs, which got lots of lovely goodies in them, all to do with the food that went into Rome. So what we're going to do is we're going to take here some ground almonds. We've got some beef in there. I'm going to put that in there. We're going to put in some traditional seasonings like salt and pepper, which we would obviously do today. And then we're going to take lots of very lovely herbs. We've got some nice thyme here. We're going to take some dried thyme for a change, just because it's quite strong. This one is oregano here, so we're going to put a bit of that into it as well. We're going to put some cumin as well, quite a lot of cumin, not too much, about a spoonful I suppose. Naturally we would have lots of garlic in there. And we're going to put a tiny drop of olive oil into it as well, just to sort of bind the thing together. Plus this here, which is fresh coriander. We're going to put lots of that in. And we're going to add a little tiny drop of fish sauce. It really was just a seasoning, as you can see. We're not putting in masses of it. It was really just to give a sort of a saltiness.
If you can't get that, could you use anything else?
You could use ground anchovies, but it's not quite as authentic in the flavouring. Would you like to roll these? This is some wholemeal flour, and if you like to take these and just roll them.
How are these going to be cooked?
We're going to steam them.
Would they have had anything with it?
Well, quite often they would put a little dip with this. They were very good on their sort of sweet and savoury dips, or sauces as they would have been. We call them dips. So we're going to do one with beetroot, and there are many, many Roman recipes for beetroot, and this one is particularly good. We're going to put some beetroot into the blender. We're going to add some cheese to it,
What kind of cheese?
This one is just a cream cheese, but in fact, if you like goat cheese...
I do.
Ah, well then it's wonderful with goat cheese. It picks up lovely rich flavours of the goat cheese.
Yes.
Now we're going to add lots of very interesting herbs to this. Lots of fresh chopped mint, which is great. We're going to add some olive oil, which one would expect. Lots of nice fresh wine vinegar too, which will pick up the, be a good contrast against the sweetness of the next thing I'm putting in, which is honey. There's lots of honey and vinegar used in their sauces. I'm going to put in also a little bit of this garum and another lovely little thing, asafoetida.
Pardon? Oh, yes.
Have you?
I've seen it written
Smell
down.
it.
What
Isn't
is
it
it?
foul?
What is it?
It's a resin of a plant which is related to the fennel family.
Ah.
And it has the most foul smell, but it just adds a little sort of piquancy to the thing and makes it very interesting. So we're going to blend all this lot up together now.
Looks like strawberry ice cream.
It does, doesn't it? There's also another sauce which we're going to do very quickly, which is lots of nice sweet and sour ingredients again. We've got lots of nice fresh plums here, which we've chopped up, and we're going to just bang them very quickly into the saucepan like this. And we're going to have, as you might imagine, lots of honey with it to sweeten them up. And we're going to put a little drop of olive oil into it as well, because it's going to be a nice sort of dipping sauce. Lots of fresh chive and spring onions into it. A little bit of, oregano as well. Then we're going to put some cumin in as well. Again, lots of cumins were used. We're going to put in some chopped garlic, a little bit of vinegar to balance the sweetness of the honey, and another quite unusual herb, which is rue. Have you ever come across that?
Never used it. No.
Well, that's also very sort of earthy, nice sort of things. And our favourite, asafoetida, but only just a tiny little pinch because it is extremely strong. And the last one is we're going to add a little drop of sherry to it because that's the nearest thing we would have got to the Malaga wine, which they went up to Spain to get those wonderful muscatel grapes. And so this, we're going to bang it on the stove.
Okay.
Are those ready, Jan?
Yes.
Great. Why don't we try and put them into here? Let's just see if the stock is boiling.
Oh, it's stock, not just water. Yes.
Yes, no, it's lovely vegetable stock, so it infuses the whole thing with a little bit of extra flavour. I think that's probably fine. Great.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, and that's probably only going to take about 6 or 7 minutes. This one will take a little bit longer because this needs to heat up and then reduce down.
With the first course completed, I made my way up to Hastings Castle to sample the pagan atmosphere and see some of the more unusual Morris dancing groups strut their stuff. Join us after the break when I find out who the Grand Master Bogie is and we sample the delights of a 17th century restoration pie. All that on A Cook Back in Time. Well, I'm in Hastings, far away from the mayhem of the Jack in the Green festivities. Today we're recreating a spectacular spread of Mayday fare with which we'll feed the Mad Jack Morris dancers after they've killed their Jack. But first I catch up with Grand Bogie Master Keith Leach, who's going to tell us more about the Green Men, or Bogie Men, and Morris dancing.
There's a northern word called boggart, which means a spirit of the wood, and the Bogie Man is an incarnation of that, a kind of southern incarnation of that idea. It's interesting how it fits in with the children's stories and so on.
You're the chief Bogie.
Yeah.
Do you have any special duties?
Looking after all the other bogies and making sure they behave themselves, which is extremely difficult. The earliest reference to Morris dancing is a 15th century will and also a 15th century window, a stained glass window that is. It's actually called The Merry May and it's got pictures of Morris dancers in it, and that's the earliest known reference that we have in England. Before that there are no references whatsoever, and it seems that Morris dancing became suddenly quite popular through the Tudor and
Stuart periods. It was danced in the court, it was danced in the churches, it was danced in the churchyards, and it was a very popular thing. And then the religious change came into England when the Puritans came in, and that kind of put a stop to that. In fact, it put a stop to a lot of things. They've evolved over time, and from the different parts of the country, we've got sword dances from the northeastern part of the country, we've got clog dances from the northwestern part of the country, things called molly dances from the Fenlands, things called border dances from the Welsh borders, and things called the Cotswold dances from the southern part of England and the Midlands.
Tell me, why do we call it Morris dancing?
The word for customary in England was mores, and that seems to make sense to me rather than all these funny ideas about it coming from the moors and all the rest of it. It just means a customary dance in Old English.
What's the next dish?
Well, Jan, I thought we'd move on a few centuries now and we'd look at something from more sort of Celtic and going into medieval, because again, that was associated with a lot of springtime activities, you know, the renewing of the earth and so on. We're going to do a spatchcock chicken today, which has lots of medieval spicing on it and lemon, and we're going to put it on the grill and then finally just finish it quickly in the oven. So what we need to do is to take this little poussin here, and we're going to just cut him up here, like this. That's it, up through the middle, like that, and open him up. There you go. We're going to give him a good squash down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give them a quick coating in lots of lemon and some lemon juice and some oil, some olive oil, and lots of salt and pepper. And you see, these early activities with the Celtic people, they were actually, they did wonderful things with renewing the earth by having lots of fires. And one of the fires that they did was to use bones, because the bones would ward off the evil spirits, mainly because of smell. You can imagine what smelling burnt bones would be like from the smoke. And so they would light all these fires which cleansed the earth and renewed it for spring so that all the crops would grow beautifully. And of course that's where the idea of bonfires came from. Bonfires.
What's
yes.
that?
This is ginger, very medieval spicing this. Ginger, cinnamon and some nutmeg.
Was the tradition of the maypole and everything going through the ages?
All the way through, yes, because even at that time, what would happen would be all the youths of the village would go off to the woods and the maidens, and they'd go off and they were allowed to stay out all night.
Oh, tush.
Yes. And the object was they were to bring back lots of boughs and hawthorn and blackthorn to the village, plus a great big tall pole, or a birch tree, for example, which was going to be the maypole. So they used to come back with all the greenery to deck the village and the houses with all this wonderful stuff that they collected all night.
Ah, that's why all of them outside, men, women, they've got flowers,
That's
grasses,
right. Yes,
leaves.
yes, that's right. We're putting these skewers through here just to hold the chicken together. And if you're going to put them onto the barbecue, it's a good idea to just, if you're using wooden ones, to make sure that they're soaked first in little water, because otherwise they just burn.
That's a good tip. I always burn the sticks. That's very good.
Right, so now I'm going to actually put them onto the grill and just sort of flash them a little bit. So we're just going to put a little drop of wine on that. It's really just to make sure that it stays moist, because if we put this into the oven, there's a danger that it might not stay very moist. I'm just putting a little bit of oregano onto that as well. And that's it, and all we're going to do is really just put it into the oven.
What are you going to cook for dessert or remove?
Right, well I've started. You can pick a knife up as well.
Oh, thank you.
have to work hard today. We're doing actually an apple pie, which there were lots of wonderful recipes for apple pie, and sadly they've all disappeared, and we're left with this horrible sort of mixture of just apples and pastry that we call an English apple pie. But at that time, the apple pie was very exciting because it had lots of additions, lots of different fruits. When Charles II came back to the throne, known as the Merry Monarch, he wanted to re-establish all the Mayday and spring festivities. And so we've chosen a pie which is rather suitable to him, because it was actually the chef who actually drew up the recipe, and we have it from her, Hannah Woolley, actually did cook for him on a couple of occasions. And the pie today is going to have pineapple in it. And of course pineapples were just beginning to come in to England. They'd started to grow them, a bit like oranges, which were exciting new addition to the culinary scene. So were pineapple. Okay, so what we've done is we've bunged the apple in there, and we're also going to put some freshly chopped pineapple into it as well. Just put that on there like that. We're going to sweeten it with sugar. Sometimes it could have been sugar, or it could have been honey, for example. We're going to put lots of cinnamon into it. Again, cinnamon was well loved. We'll put in a couple of sticks as well, a few cloves, and just for good measure, a little tiny drop of water so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. But in fact, there wasn't any water in the recipe. I'm just adding that.
Oh.
Because I'm worried it's going to stick.
Right, with all that sugar. Yes.
And we're going to put about 2 teaspoons of rose water into it. Okay, because this again was a lovely flavouring.
You do have very big teaspoons, Veronica.
Yes, I do like the
Cook's
flavour.
measure.
Yes, the flavour of rose water. I'm going to put this onto the stove now.
Well, the apple mixture's reducing. So
It's actually reduced. We're okay now. I'm going to just take it off, and I'm going to just put it here and let it just cool down a few minutes while we make the custard. Very hard to find actual pastry recipes, because after all it was assumed everybody knew how to make it. So therefore nobody needed to possibly know. And
now they wouldn't have had fancy sort of dishes like that.
No,
What would
probably
they
not.
have done it in?
They'd have done it into a big pot, anything really, and just covered it over. I mean, they filled their tarts with the most wonderful mixtures of all sorts of things. I mean, live birds and frogs and...
What? They didn't eat them, surely.
No, they didn't. But they created a sort of bit of fun at a feast. You know, they'd open up the pie and out would flow the birds, fly the birds, or they would let frogs come out of the pie, and then all the girls, of course, would be shrieking. It'd be great fun.
Is that where 4 and 20 blackbirds
Yes,
baked in a... So they weren't baked?
No,
They weren't
They
cruel.
would like put in underneath the pastry
Right.
and then opened
Good.
up, yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some nutmeg, and we're going to put in some sugar. We've put cinnamon and some, I think that's probably enough actually, because the apples are quite sweet, especially with the pineapple. And we're going to put some cream into it, and then give it all a good mix, about 1/4 of a pint of cream, or 125. Mix it up just like you would as if you were making a quiche. So, okay, what we're going to do now is put this, minus the cinnamon sticks, just drain it a little bit so you don't finish up with too wet mixture going into the pie. Just put it in like this. You can leave your cloves in there because they also still continue to give it a lot more flavour. But in fact this is very rich because of the rose water and all the spices in it. So just fill your mixture up like that, and then pour your egg mixture onto it. You might need to just...
This looks so
stir
good
it.
and rich. It's kind of the French eat your heart out tartatin.
Yes, it is, isn't it? I mean, English and French cookery for years ran side by side, and they were always vying with one another for supremacy in the kitchen. And here you've got a good example of a wonderful tart.
Well, back at the castle, it's time for the climax of the day.
Comes another turn of the season. For this, God has his reason.
Jack will die, but there's no pain. Because like us all, he'll rise again!
Authentic Roman bread. We do. We used to make this sort of stuff at school. That's beetroot sauce. That's plum sauce and then meatballs. Is it nice? It is. Oh, that's past mustard, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yes. Also really tasty.
What?
I've got this.
You do that back quickly. They are devouring the spatchcock chicken and the meatballs.
Oh, really?
Absolutely loving it.
Oh, good.
Oh, that does look good. Hey, you've worked so hard.
Oh.
Do you think we could be a bit naughty and have a piece of that before? They'll devour it. There won't
Do
be
you
any
think?
left.
Oh, all right then.
Please.
On your head be it, madam. This is very light and flaky, this pastry. Here we go. There you go. Let me excuse my fingers.
It's all right. I
There
know
you
they're
go.
clean.
There you go.
You're going to have some?
Oh, I'm
Oops.
sorry.
You're going to have
No,
some?
I don't think so. I don't think I can manage it now, but try it anyway with the custard in it already.
Oh, wow. That is some apple pie.
Thanks.
Restoration pie. It's wonderful.
Good.
Oh, it really is. Well, that's all we've got time for today. So join us again soon for another Cook Back in Time.